The art of not trying. Achieve everything you want effortlessly. Stoicism. Have you ever noticed how effortlessly the river winds its way around obstacles, never rushing, yet always reaching its destination? Or how a tree stretches towards the sky, never straining but steadily growing? There's a rhythm, a natural pulse to life, a kind of harmonious dance that achieves the impossible without force or struggle. What if I told you that the same principle could be applied to your own life? What if the very act of not trying could get you closer to your goals than years of hard grind and effort? Welcome to Stoic in Your Life. Today we're diving into the ancient wisdom of Stoicism and exploring the art of not trying. Achieve everything you want effortlessly. This profound philosophy challenges the relentless hustle of our modern world, offering a path to harmony, peace, and true achievement without aggressive action. It may sound like a dream, but it's the sophisticated art of knowing when to act and when to let go. Join us as we uncover the secrets of achieving your goals effortlessly. Think about a life where success doesn't feel like an uphill battle, where achieving your goals seems to flow naturally and effortlessly. This might sound like a distant dream, but it's the essence of an ancient concept called Wu Wei from Taoist philosophy. While it literally translates to non-action or non-doing, its meaning is profoundly deeper. Wu Wei isn't about passivity or inaction. It's about achieving a state of effortless action, where you align your efforts so seamlessly with the natural flow of life that everything falls into place as if by magic. Picture a skilled martial artist, perfectly balanced and poised, waiting for an opponent's strike. Instead of meeting force with force, the artist channels the incoming energy, moves in harmony with the situation, and uses the opponent's momentum to their advantage. This harmonious action, this effortless mastery, is the essence of Wu Wei. It's the art of knowing when to act and when to let go, trusting that the universe, much like the Tao, is always in a state of natural balance. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." This wisdom beautifully complements the idea of Wu Wei, encouraging us to focus our efforts where they matter most, and accept the flow of life as it comes. In our modern fast-paced world, the relentless pursuit of success can often feel overwhelming. We are constantly told to hustle harder, push through, and never stop grinding. Yet this approach can lead to burnout and dissatisfaction. Wu Wei offers a refreshing perspective, teaching us that sometimes the most effective way to achieve our goals is by not forcing them. It's about finding that sweet spot where our actions are in sync with the natural rhythms of life. Take, for example, the process of decision-making. Instead of agonizing over every choice, Wu Wei suggests that we tune into our intuition and the natural flow of events. By doing so, we make decisions that feel right and unfold effortlessly. This doesn't mean avoiding hard work or challenges. It means working smartly with awareness and presence. The modern application of Wu Wei is about balance, knowing when to push forward and when to step back and let things happen. It's about trusting in the process and having faith that, like a river finding its course, life will lead us to where we need to be if we allow it. Incorporating Wu Wei into our lives can lead to greater peace, less stress, and a more profound sense of accomplishment. As Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic philosopher, wisely put it, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This quote reminds us that obstacles and challenges are not to be fought against with brute force, but to be navigated with grace and wisdom, aligning our actions with the flow of life rather than against it. In your daily life, start by observing where you might be exerting unnecessary effort. Are there areas where you could achieve more by doing less? Where can you align more with the natural course of events rather than fighting against them? Embrace the art of not trying, not as a form of laziness, but as a profound strategy for living in harmony with the world around you. By doing so, you will find that success comes not from relentless striving, but from a balanced, intuitive approach to life. The Wu Wei principle suggests that true power often emerges in the moments of non-action, in the pause, the breath, the waiting. It challenges the conventional wisdom that trying harder always leads to better results. Have you ever considered that by trying less you might actually achieve more? By releasing our tight grip on every outcome, we allow life to flow in ways that often align more closely with our true desires. Reflect on a recent time when you tried to force an outcome. Maybe you were determined to convince someone of your perspective or pushed relentlessly to see a work project completed in a very specific way. How did that feel? Tense, exhausting, and perhaps even frustrating, right? Now think about a different scenario where you set a clear intention, did your part, and then allowed things to unfold naturally. The contrast between these two approaches is striking, not just in terms of the results, but in the overall experience of the journey. Take, for instance, a modern-day story. Emma, a project manager, was overseeing a critical project at work. Initially, she micromanaged every detail, controlled every aspect, and demanded constant updates. The result? Her team felt stifled and Emma was perpetually stressed. One day, inspired by the principle of Wu Wei, she decided to change her approach. Emma set clear goals, provided guidance, and then stepped back, trusting her team to do their best. The outcome? The project was not only completed successfully but also exceeded expectations. Emma's team felt more empowered, and she experienced far less stress. This shift didn't just change the project's result. It transformed the entire process into a more harmonious and fulfilling experience. This concept isn't about laziness or indifference. It's about understanding when to act and when to step back. It's about cultivating a sense of trust in ourselves, in others, and in the natural flow of life. Ask yourself, where in your life can you apply this principle? What situations might benefit from a little less control and a bit more trust? By embracing Wu Wei, we learn to flow with the currents of life, rather than constantly swimming against them. It teaches us that sometimes the most powerful action is inaction, the most potent effort is effortless. This doesn't mean abandoning goals or desires. It means pursuing them with a sense of ease and allowing the universe to meet us halfway. So, next time you find yourself caught in the cycle of relentless effort, remember Emma's story and consider the possibility that stepping back might just be the key to moving forward. Embrace the art of not trying, and watch how effortlessly you can achieve everything you want. What if the true secret to success is not in doing more, but in being more present, more trusting, and more aligned with the natural rhythms of life? This profound lesson invites you to rethink your approach and discover a path to achieving your goals with greater ease and fulfillment. Imagine this: achieving everything you've ever wanted effortlessly. It sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Yet this is not about advocating passivity or mere wishful thinking. Instead, it's about a deeply active approach that requires acute awareness, keen observation, and a profound connection with your environment and yourself. The essence of this philosophy lies not in the forcefulness of our actions but in the alignment from which these actions stem. This is what the art of not trying, or Wu Wei in Eastern philosophy, teaches us, a concept that aligns beautifully with Stoic principles. As we embark on this exploration, open your mind and heart to the wisdom of the East, to the lessons of nature, and to the insights of ancient sages who understood something profoundly important about the universe. Think of the rivers flowing effortlessly, the trees growing steadily without haste, and the seasons changing seamlessly. They all operate in harmony with their surroundings, achieving their purposes without strain. This natural way of being can be a powerful teacher for us. Consider the words of the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. This quote encapsulates the essence of not trying too hard. When we focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot, we align ourselves with the natural flow of life. Instead of battling against the current, we move with it, finding opportunities in challenges and serenity in chaos. How often do we find ourselves exhausted, pushing against obstacles that seem insurmountable, when perhaps the key lies in changing our approach, not the world around us? The practice of not trying is not about inaction. It's about right action, doing the right thing at the right time, in the right way. This approach requires a heightened state of mindfulness, where you observe without judgment and act without attachment to the outcome. It's about being fully present, responding to the needs of the moment with clarity and purpose. Have you ever experienced a moment where everything just clicked, where your actions felt natural and effortless? That's the power of alignment, the sweet spot where effort meets ease. Lao Tzu, the ancient Chinese philosopher, once said, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." This wisdom invites us to rethink our relationship with time and effort. In our fast-paced world, we're often conditioned to believe that more effort equals more results. But what if slowing down and being more deliberate in our actions could actually yield better outcomes? What if, by embracing patience and trust, we could achieve our goals with less stress and more joy? Let's delve deeper into the idea of alignment. Alignment means acting in accordance with our true nature and values. It involves recognizing and honoring our limits while leveraging our strengths. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This Stoic insight aligns perfectly with the art of not trying. Obstacles are not barriers but guides, pointing us towards a different, often more effective path. Imagine approaching your daily tasks with this mindset. Instead of viewing them as burdens, see them as opportunities to practice alignment. When you face a challenge, ask yourself, am I forcing this? Or am I working with the natural flow of the situation? This shift in perspective can transform your experience from one of struggle to one of harmonious effort. Now let's consider how this applies to our personal goals. Often we set ambitious targets and push ourselves relentlessly to achieve them. While determination is admirable, it can also lead to burnout and dissatisfaction. The art of not trying encourages us to set our intentions, take deliberate steps, and then allow things to unfold naturally. Trusting the process doesn't mean abandoning effort. It means recognizing that some factors are beyond our control, and that outcomes often depend on timing and external influences. Reflect on your own life for a moment. Think about a goal you've been striving towards. How has your approach been? Are you pushing hard, feeling frustrated by the lack of progress? What might happen if you eased up a bit, trusted in your preparation, and allowed space for things to develop organically? Could you find more joy in the journey and less anxiety about the destination? Seneca, the Roman Stoic, advised, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." This insight encourages us to embrace challenges with a balanced mindset. By daring to act with calm confidence, we often find that difficulties diminish. The art of not trying teaches us to dare wisely, to act with purpose but without undue strain, and to trust in the natural unfolding of events. Incorporating this philosophy into our lives doesn't mean we become passive or disengaged. On the contrary, it requires us to be more present, more engaged, and more attuned to the subtleties of our environment and our inner selves. It's about finding that delicate balance where effort meets ease, where action meets patience, and where intention meets trust. So, how can you start practicing this art of not trying? Begin with small steps. In your daily routine, identify areas where you feel the most resistance and ask yourself if there's a way to approach them with more ease. Practice mindfulness to stay present and observe your thoughts and actions without judgment. When you encounter obstacles, see them as opportunities for growth and alignment rather than threats. Ultimately, the art of not trying is about cultivating a state of flow where your actions feel natural and unforced. It's about embracing the wisdom of both Eastern philosophy and Stoic principles to navigate life with grace and resilience. By aligning your efforts with your true nature and the rhythms of the world around you, you can achieve more with less stress and more joy. Remember, the journey towards effortless achievement begins with a single step, one of awareness, intention, and trust. Let's embark on this journey together, discovering the profound secrets of the universe through the art of not trying. In the ancient text of Taoism, the Tao Te Ching, written by the enigmatic Lao Tzu, we find profound insights into the art of not trying. Chapter 37 offers a glimpse into this wisdom. The Tao never does anything, yet through it, all things are done. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. This concept might seem paradoxical at first. How can non-action lead to action? Yet, it is in this silent, profound stillness that the universe's dance comes to life. The essence of the Tao lies in its effortless action, a principle that, when embraced, allows us to flow naturally with the world around us rather than against it. Consider this in the context of your own life. Picture a busy executive constantly striving, pushing, and exerting immense effort to achieve success. Despite the relentless effort, stress mounts and satisfaction remains elusive. Now, contrast this with a story of a gardener who, instead of forcing plants to grow, nurtures the soil, waters gently, and allows nature to take its course. The garden thrives, not through force, but through harmonious interaction with the environment. The gardener's success comes from understanding and working with the natural order, embodying the principle of effortless action. How often do we find ourselves in the shoes of the executive, believing that only through intense effort and struggle can we achieve our goals? We live in a world that glorifies hustle and grind, but what if true accomplishment lies in a different approach? What if we could achieve more by aligning ourselves with the natural flow of life, much like the gardener? By doing so, we embrace the wisdom of the Tao, finding power in stillness and action in non-action. Reflect on moments in your life where you felt in perfect sync with your surroundings, where things just seemed to fall into place effortlessly. These instances are not coincidences. They are glimpses of what life can be like when we align ourselves with the natural order. This doesn't mean abandoning effort altogether, but understanding when to act and when to step back, allowing the universe to work its magic. Imagine a modern story where a tech entrepreneur, constantly pushing the boundaries and working around the clock, suddenly hits a wall. Burnout. Forced to take a step back, they discover the power of mindfulness and alignment with their true purpose. By focusing on what truly matters and letting go of unnecessary struggles, they achieve greater success and fulfillment. This story resonates because it mirrors the journey many of us are on, striving yet yearning for a more effortless existence. So how can you apply this principle of effortless action in your own life? Start by recognizing the areas where you are forcing outcomes and ask yourself if there might be a more natural, harmonious way to achieve your goals. Engage in activities that align with your passions and strengths, where effort feels almost effortless. Practice mindfulness to stay centered and present, allowing you to respond to life's challenges with calm and clarity. The key lesson here is to trust in the natural flow of life. By aligning with the Tao, you tap into a source of boundless potential where things happen organically and harmoniously. Remember, it's not about doing nothing, but about finding the balance between action and stillness. When you master this art, you'll find that you can achieve everything you want, effortlessly. So, what steps will you take today to embrace the wisdom of the Tao and integrate effortless action into your daily life? The journey to harmony and success starts with a single mindful step. Thank you all for being here with us in this video on the art of not trying. Achieve everything you want effortlessly. How have you experienced the concept of effortless action in your own life? And what changes have you noticed since embracing it? If you're unsure of what to comment, feel free to share an example of a situation where letting go of excessive effort led to a better outcome for you. We'd love to hear your stories and insights. Now let's explore how this principle aligns with the teachings of Stoicism. Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy founded by Zeno of Citium, also emphasizes the importance of aligning with the natural order and focusing on what is within our control. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This echoes the Zen and Taoist focus on being present and accepting the flow of life. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. Your initial reaction might be frustration or anger, but consider what happens when you choose to accept the situation and focus on what you can control, your response. This is where the art of not trying, or wu wei, comes into play. By not resisting the situation and accepting it, you align yourself with the present moment, reducing stress and frustration. This doesn't mean you do nothing. Instead, it means you act in harmony with the situation, perhaps by using the time to listen to a podcast, reflect, or simply breathe. Reflecting on this, how often do you find yourself resisting what is happening in your life? What if, instead of fighting against the current, you chose to flow with it? By embracing the principles of Wu Wei and the teachings of Zen and Stoicism, you can find a more effortless path to achieving your goals. This doesn't mean you stop taking action, but that your actions are in alignment with the natural flow of life. Let's delve deeper into a modern-day example. Picture a tech entrepreneur constantly pushing boundaries and working around the clock. Despite their relentless effort, they face burnout and diminishing returns. Now imagine this entrepreneur discovering mindfulness and the art of effortless action. By learning to focus on what truly matters and letting go of unnecessary struggles, they start to see greater success and fulfillment. This transformation highlights the power of aligning with the natural order rather than constantly pushing against it. Consider the words of Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, who said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This Stoic wisdom reminds us that obstacles are not merely hindrances but opportunities to align our actions with the flow of life. When we encounter challenges, we can choose to see them as part of our path and work with them rather than against them. So, how can you apply these principles in your own life? Start by recognizing where you are exerting unnecessary effort and resistance. Ask yourself if there is a more harmonious way to approach these situations. Engage in practices that cultivate mindfulness and presence, such as meditation, or simply taking a few moments each day to breathe deeply and center yourself. By doing so, you can begin to align your actions with the natural flow of life, finding that you achieve more with less effort. Imagine the ripple effects of this approach in your daily life. How might your relationships improve if you were more present and accepting? How might your work become more fulfilling if you focused on what truly matters and let go of unnecessary struggles? The art of not trying is not about doing nothing, but about finding the balance between action and stillness, effort and ease. To summarize, the principles of Wu Wei, Zen Buddhism, and Stoicism all point to a similar truth. True power and effectiveness come from aligning with the natural flow of life rather than fighting against it. By embracing these principles, you can achieve everything you want effortlessly. Reflect on your own life and consider where you can start to apply this wisdom. What small changes can you make today to begin living more in harmony with the flow? Remember, the journey to effortless action starts with a single mindful step. So, what will your first step be? This concept isn't new. It has roots in many Eastern traditions. For instance, the ancient Indian philosophy of Nishkama Karma from the Bhagavad Gita teaches us to act without attachment to results, resonating deeply with the principles of Wu Wei from Taoism. Despite vast cultural and linguistic differences, these philosophies share a universal truth. It's not our forceful interventions, but our gentle surrender and alignment with the greater cosmic dance that bring about the most profound outcomes. Consider the silent Tao guiding all existence in Taoism, the Zen master practicing just sitting in profound presence, or the Gita's call to act without attachment. Each of these teachings highlights the importance of being present and flowing with the currents of life, rather than against them. This isn't about passivity or inaction. It's about a deeper, more effective form of engagement with the world. Picture a modern professional constantly battling deadlines, stress, and the pressure to perform. This individual might find solace and efficiency in adopting these ancient practices. By focusing on what they can control and letting go of the rest, they can achieve more with less effort, finding a sense of peace and fulfillment in their daily tasks. Reflect on your own life for a moment. How often do you find yourself caught in the struggle, feeling like you're swimming upstream? What if instead you could align your actions with the natural flow of life? This doesn't mean giving up on your goals, but approaching them with a sense of calm and presence, much like a seasoned sailor navigating the sea. The sailor doesn't fight the ocean. They work with the wind and waves, adjusting their sails to reach their destination effortlessly. Similarly, by embracing the principles of Stoicism and Eastern philosophies, you can learn to navigate life's challenges with grace and efficiency. In today's fast-paced world, the idea of achieving more by trying less might seem counterintuitive. Yet, this is precisely the wisdom these ancient teachings offer. They remind us that true power and effectiveness come from being in harmony with the natural order of things. As Epictetus wisely noted, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. By focusing on our responses and aligning with the flow of life, we unlock the potential to achieve our desires effortlessly. So, how can you apply this wisdom in your daily life? Start by identifying areas where you exert unnecessary effort. Are there tasks or goals that you approach with force and frustration? Consider adopting a more mindful approach, focusing on what you can control and letting go of the rest. Engage in practices that cultivate presence and alignment, such as meditation, mindfulness, or simply taking a few moments each day to breathe deeply and center yourself. Imagine the ripple effects of this approach on your personal and professional life. Your relationships might improve as you become more present and accepting. Your work could become more fulfilling as you focus on what truly matters and let go of unnecessary struggles. The art of not trying is about finding balance between action and stillness, effort and ease. By embracing this balance, you can achieve everything you want, effortlessly. Reflect on your own life and consider where you can start to apply this wisdom. What small changes can you make today to begin living more in harmony with the flow of life? Remember, the journey to effortless action begins with a single, mindful step. So, what will your first step be? In essence, Wu Wei is about effortless action, acting in harmony with the natural flow of life rather than against it. Picture a river flowing smoothly around rocks. It doesn't force its way but finds the path of least resistance, achieving its journey effortlessly. Similarly, when we align our actions with the natural order of things, we can achieve more with less effort. This principle is not about doing nothing, but about doing less of what is unnecessary and more of what is essential. It's about finding the sweet spot where effort and ease coexist, where we act with purpose and intention without straining against the current. Consider the story of a modern executive, constantly pushing and striving, yet often feeling exhausted and unfulfilled. Despite all their hard work, they rarely feel they are getting ahead. One day, they encounter the concept of Wu Wei and decide to implement it in their life. Instead of trying to control every outcome, they start to focus on what they can influence and let go of the rest. They find that by trusting the process and aligning their efforts with the natural flow of their work and personal life, they become more productive and less stressed. Their relationships improve, their creativity flourishes, and they feel a sense of peace and accomplishment that had eluded them for years. Reflecting on your own life, how often do you find yourself pushing against the current, trying to control every aspect of your surroundings? What if you could achieve more by letting go and aligning yourself with the flow of life? Wu Wei invites you to consider where you might be exerting unnecessary effort and how you can redirect that energy towards actions that are more in sync with your natural rhythms. This doesn't mean abandoning your goals, but approaching them with a mindset of harmony and presence. As Lao Tzu, the ancient Chinese philosopher, wisely said, "By doing nothing, everything is done." This quote encapsulates the essence of Wu Wei. It's about understanding the right moments to act, and the right moments to be still. It's about cultivating a sense of awareness and presence that allows you to move through life with grace and ease. Imagine how your daily routines, work habits, and personal interactions might transform if you adopted this philosophy. What would it feel like to live a life where effort and ease coexist harmoniously? To apply Wu Wei in your life, start by observing areas where you feel resistance or unnecessary struggle. Ask yourself if there's a way to approach these situations with more flow and less force. Engage in practices that foster mindfulness and presence, such as meditation or spending time in nature. These practices can help you tune into the natural rhythms of life and align your actions accordingly. Wu Wei is not about passive inaction, but about finding a harmonious balance between effort and ease. It teaches us to act in alignment with the natural flow of life, achieving more with less struggle. By embracing this philosophy, you can enhance your productivity, creativity, and overall well-being. So as you move forward, consider how you can integrate the principles of Wu Wei into your daily life. What small changes can you make today to start living more effortlessly? Remember, the journey to mastering the art of not trying begins with a single step, taken in harmony with the flow of life. What will your first step be? This principle is akin to the elegance of a dancer lost in the performance, so engrossed in the moment that every move feels not like a calculated step, but a natural extension of their being. It's the painter, whose brush flows freely across the canvas, not directed by the conscious mind but guided by a spontaneous spirit. This idea is not about the absence of action, but the purity of action. It's an act free from friction, free from the rigid structures of overthinking, planning, or forcing. To elucidate further, consider the flow of water. It doesn't strain, doesn't push, yet it's unceasing in its movement, carving valleys and shaping mountains over time. Water doesn't try in the way we often understand the term. It simply follows its intrinsic nature, moves in alignment with the environment. This is the essence of acting in accordance with one's nature and the nature of the universe, without unnecessary force. Picture you're a professional in the corporate world, constantly pushing yourself to meet deadlines, attend meetings, and exceed targets. The stress of always being on the go can be overwhelming, and despite your best efforts, you often feel like you're swimming upstream. Now picture a different approach. Instead of forcing every outcome, you begin to align your actions with your natural strengths and the flow of the workplace environment. You focus on what you can control, let go of what you can't, and suddenly things start to fall into place more naturally. This is the art of not trying, as espoused by both Stoic philosophy and ancient Eastern wisdom. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasized focusing on what is within our control and accepting what is not. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Epictetus wisely stated. This principle dovetails beautifully with the concept of Wu Wei from Taoism and the Zen practice of shikantaza, or just sitting. These philosophies teach us that by aligning with the natural flow of life and acting without unnecessary force, we can achieve more and experience greater peace. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, how often do we pause to consider if our efforts are aligned with our true nature and the natural order of things? The wisdom of acting effortlessly, of finding the balance between action and non-action, is about achieving a state where our actions feel as natural as water flowing downhill. It's about trusting in the process and the intrinsic flow of life. As Bruce Lee famously said, "Be water, my friend." This quote encapsulates the idea perfectly. Water adapts to its environment, moves with ease, and yet is powerful enough to shape the world around it. Let's take a real-world example. Think of a tech entrepreneur who constantly battles stress, deadlines, and the pressure to innovate. Despite their relentless efforts, they often hit roadblocks and feel burnt out. Now, imagine this entrepreneur discovering the philosophy of effortless action. By learning to prioritize tasks, delegate effectively, and focus on their core strengths, they start to see a significant improvement in their productivity and well-being. They no longer feel like they're fighting against the current but are flowing with it, achieving their goals with greater ease and satisfaction. Reflecting on your own life, where can you find opportunities to apply the principle of not trying? Are there areas where you're exerting unnecessary effort, pushing against the natural flow? By embracing the concept of effortless action, you can start to navigate life's challenges with more grace and less strain. It's not about abandoning effort, but about channeling it more effectively, aligning it with the natural rhythms of life. Consider the words of Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic philosopher. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This wisdom teaches us that obstacles are not merely hindrances, but are integral to our path. By understanding and working with these obstacles, rather than against them, we align ourselves with the natural flow and turn challenges into opportunities. To incorporate this philosophy into your daily life, start by identifying areas where you feel resistance or struggle. Ask yourself if there is a more natural, harmonious way to approach these situations. Engage in practices that cultivate mindfulness and presence, such as meditation, spending time in nature, or simply taking moments throughout the day to breathe deeply and center yourself. These practices can help you attune to the natural rhythms of life and align your actions accordingly. If you've made it this far, you're embracing the power of effortless action. Drop a comment saying, "I am in the flow," to show your commitment to this journey of achieving effortlessly. Stick around. The best is yet to come. Imagine you're dealing with a difficult project at work. Instead of stressing and forcing your way through, you can apply the concept of Wu Wei by assessing the situation calmly, understanding the dynamics at play, and then acting in harmony with these insights. By doing so, you conserve energy, reduce stress, and often find more effective solutions. This approach is not about doing less, but about doing things differently. As Lao Tzu said, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." This wisdom teaches us that by aligning our actions with the natural flow, we can achieve more with less effort. Incorporating Wu Wei into your life means learning to recognize when you're forcing things and when you need to step back and allow the natural order to take over. It's about finding that sweet spot where your actions feel effortless and in sync with the world around you. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, emphasized focusing on what is within our control and accepting what is not. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them, he stated. This principle dovetails beautifully with Wu Wei, reminding us that our response to life's challenges should be one of calm alignment rather than frantic effort. Consider the flow of water. It doesn't strain or push, yet it is persistent and powerful, carving valleys and shaping mountains over time. Water follows its intrinsic nature, moving in alignment with the environment. This is the essence of acting in accordance with one's nature and the nature of the universe, without unnecessary force. By adopting this mindset, you can navigate life's challenges with more grace and less resistance. Let's look at a real-world example. A tech entrepreneur constantly battling deadlines and pressure to innovate might feel overwhelmed and burnt out. However, by applying the principle of Wu Wei, they can focus on their strengths, delegate tasks more effectively, and align their efforts with the natural flow of their business environment. This shift can lead to greater productivity and satisfaction, as they are no longer fighting against the current, but moving with it. Reflecting on your own life, where do you find yourself exerting unnecessary effort? How can you begin to align your actions with the natural flow? Engaging in practices that foster mindfulness and presence, such as meditation or spending time in nature, can help you attune to the natural rhythms of life. These practices can guide you to act more effortlessly and effectively. Let's take a closer look at this through a modern analogy from aeronautics. Engineers don't simply add more power to make planes fly faster or higher. Instead, they focus on optimizing the design to minimize air resistance, enabling the plane to glide smoothly while consuming less fuel. This principle of aerodynamic efficiency can be applied to our lives as well, embodying the profound wisdom of doing less to achieve more. Think about a heated discussion where emotions run high and everyone is eager to voice their opinions. Instead of jumping in and trying to dominate the conversation, consider the power of listening more than speaking. By allowing the conversation to flow naturally, you create an environment of understanding and respect. This not only de-escalates tension, but often leads to more productive and meaningful outcomes. This is akin to an aircraft slicing through the air with minimal resistance, conserving energy while reaching its destination efficiently. In the world of business, this principle is equally powerful. Rather than aggressively pushing against market trends or consumer behaviors, astute business leaders observe and align their strategies with these currents. By understanding the natural flow of the market and positioning their actions accordingly, they achieve greater success with less effort. This approach, much like the streamlined design of an aircraft, ensures smooth navigation through the complex landscape of commerce. Let's consider a relatable story. Jane, a marketing manager at a tech startup, was initially frustrated with her team's lack of progress. She pushed hard for innovative campaigns, constantly urging her team to think outside the box and work longer hours. Despite their efforts, the results were mediocre, and the team was burnt out. One day, inspired by the principle of aerodynamic efficiency, Jane decided to step back and observe. She noticed that her team had great ideas, but lacked the space and time to develop them fully. Instead of pushing harder, she started facilitating open discussions, listening more, and encouraging her team to share their thoughts without the pressure of immediate execution. The change was remarkable. The team's creativity flourished, and they began producing high-quality work with less stress and effort. Jane's team, like a well-designed aircraft, started to glide smoothly, achieving more with less force. So, how can you apply this principle in your own life? Ask yourself, where am I exerting unnecessary effort? How can I streamline my approach to achieve more with less stress? Whether it's in your personal relationships, your career, or your daily routines, consider the power of aligning with the natural flow rather than pushing against it. This mindset not only conserves your energy, but also opens up new pathways to success and fulfillment. By embracing efficiency, listening more, and aligning our actions with the natural flow of life, we can navigate our journey with grace and effectiveness. Remember, true power often lies in the ability to do less and accomplish more. So, take a step back, observe, and allow your life to glide smoothly like a well-designed airplane. Amidst the endless hustle and bustle of modern life, there's a creeping sense of existential void. Many of us begin to question the purpose of our incessant efforts. Is it merely for material accumulation, social validation, or is there a deeper meaning to life that gets obscured in the blinding dust of constant movement? The Western emphasis on doing has undoubtedly led to remarkable advancements, innovations, and improvements in living standards. But as with all things, balance is crucial. The pendulum, which has swung towards relentless action, might need some recalibration. Eastern philosophies, with their emphasis on being, on harmony, and on aligned action, like the concept of Wu Wei we explored, offer a counterpoint. They invite a reconsideration of our relentless pursuit, suggesting that sometimes, in letting go of forced effort, in tuning into the rhythms of nature and life, and in embracing stillness amidst the storm, we might find not just peace but also a more profound, sustainable, and joyous productivity. Imagine waking up every morning, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders, racing against time to meet deadlines, achieve goals, and fulfill responsibilities. Yet, there's a whisper in the back of your mind, asking, is this all there is to life? The ancient Stoics grappled with similar questions, and their wisdom can guide us in finding balance and meaning. Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." This profound insight encourages us to pause and reflect on the present moment, rather than being trapped in an endless cycle of striving for more. As our world becomes ever more interconnected, there's an opportunity, a necessity even, to engage in a cross-cultural dialogue, to understand the strengths and limitations of different worldviews and weave together a tapestry that draws from the best of both. In this synthesis, there's hope for a future where achievement and well-being work hand in hand, where the rivers of action and introspection merge, leading us to shores of greater understanding and fulfillment. Consider the concept of Wu Wei, which means effortless action or non-doing. It's about aligning with the natural flow of life rather than forcing things to happen. This doesn't mean being passive or lazy. Rather, it's about finding that sweet spot where our actions are both effective and harmonious. How often do we find ourselves pushing against the tide, exhausting our energy with little to show for it? What if we could achieve more by doing less, by simply being more attuned to the natural rhythms around us? The philosopher Laozi in the Tao Te Ching reminds us, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. In the luminous glow of ancient wisdom, abstract concepts often float like ethereal clouds. Their beauty and depth are undeniable, but how do we tether these lofty notions to the grounded realities of our daily lives? How can one employ the serenity and wisdom of Wu Wei amidst deadlines, digital distractions, and never-ending to-do lists? Let's embark on this journey, seeking tangible strategies inspired by Wu Wei, enabling us to navigate our fast-paced world with grace and purpose. Start by observing your daily routines. Are there areas where you're exerting unnecessary effort? For instance, rather than forcing creativity in a rigid environment, could you find inspiration in nature or through a relaxed mind? Remember the words of Epictetus. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. This Stoic principle aligns beautifully with Wu Wei, reminding us to focus on what we can influence and let go of what we cannot. Engaging in regular reflection can help you identify patterns of unnecessary struggle. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By cultivating a mindset that values harmony over hustle, you begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. Are there tasks that you can delegate, defer, or even discard? Simplifying your life is not about doing less for the sake of it, but about making room for what truly matters. Consider how you approach challenges. Instead of seeing them as adversaries, can you view them as opportunities for growth and learning? Laozi's wisdom teaches us that flexibility and adaptability are key. A tree that cannot bend will crack in the wind. The rigid and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail. By embracing a more fluid approach, you can navigate difficulties with greater ease and resilience. One practical application of Wu Wei in modern life is the practice of mindfulness. Taking moments throughout the day to breathe, center yourself, and reconnect with the present can transform your approach to tasks and interactions. Thich Nhat Hanh, a modern-day sage, said, "Mindfulness helps you go home to the present. And every time you go there and recognize a condition of happiness that you have, happiness comes." This practice not only reduces stress, but also enhances your overall effectiveness. Let's also talk about the power of letting go. How often do we cling to outcomes, pushing and pulling to shape events to our will? Yet, as the Stoics remind us, there is freedom in acceptance. Epictetus taught, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well." By releasing our grip on rigid expectations, we open ourselves to the natural flow of life, finding peace and productivity in the process. In your relationships, Wu Wei can manifest as a more compassionate and understanding approach. Instead of trying to control or change others, can you practice empathy and active listening? As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? This introspection fosters a deeper connection and mutual respect, enhancing both personal and professional relationships. As we continue to explore these ancient philosophies, it becomes clear that the art of not trying is not about inaction, but about inspired action. It's about finding a harmonious balance where effort and ease coexist, where we can achieve our goals without sacrificing our well-being. Imagine a life where you wake up each day with a sense of purpose, yet move through your day with a sense of peace. A life where you are productive yet not overwhelmed, where you are driven yet not drained. This is the promise of Wu Wei and the wisdom of the Stoics combined. So I invite you to reflect on your own life. Where can you apply these principles? How can you bring more balance, ease, and joy into your daily routines? Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Start small, be patient with yourself, and trust that as you align more with the natural flow of life, you will not only achieve your goals but also find a deeper sense of fulfillment and happiness. After all, as Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, taught, well-being is realized by small steps, but is truly no small thing. Embrace the art of not trying and discover the effortless path to a more meaningful and joyful life. Think about the last time you were stuck on a problem at work or in a personal project. You probably found yourself pushing harder and harder, but the harder you tried, the more elusive the solution became. This scenario is where the wisdom of Wu Wei and Stoicism can truly shine. By stepping back and allowing yourself to let go of the frantic need to control the outcome, you create a space for new perspectives and solutions to arise naturally. Lao Tzu's quote resonates deeply here. By letting go, everything finds its way to completion. How often do we complicate our lives by holding on too tightly to control and outcomes? In modern life, we often encounter a paradox. The more we strive for control, the more chaotic things seem to become. Picture a time when you tried to fix every little issue in your relationship, only to find that the harder you tried, the more strained things became. By adopting a mindset of letting go, you allow the natural flow of the relationship to guide you. This doesn't mean you stop caring or become passive. It means you engage with a sense of ease and trust in the process. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur who was struggling to launch a new product. Despite working day and night, obsessing over every detail, progress was slow and stress levels were high. After consulting a mentor who advised him to take a step back, the entrepreneur decided to take a weekend off to clear his mind. Upon returning, he found himself refreshed, and new, innovative ideas flowed effortlessly. This is the essence of strategic non-action. Sometimes the best way to move forward is to pause and let go. Ask yourself, where in your life could you benefit from letting go? Are there areas where you're holding on too tightly, trying to force things into place? By embracing the art of letting go, you not only reduce your stress but also open the door to more natural and effective solutions. This approach can transform your professional life, personal relationships, and even your inner peace. In your professional life, letting go might mean trusting your team more and not micromanaging every detail. When you give others the space to take ownership and make their own decisions, you foster a more collaborative and innovative environment. This principle is beautifully illustrated in the quote from Lao Tzu. When you try and try, the world is beyond winning. Instead of relentless pushing, focus on creating a supportive atmosphere where natural growth can occur. In personal relationships, consider the power of not reacting impulsively. When faced with conflict, taking a step back to let emotions cool can lead to more thoughtful and effective communication. This practice not only helps in resolving issues more amicably, but also strengthens the relationship by showing respect and understanding for each other's perspectives. Even in your personal growth, letting go of rigid expectations and self-imposed pressures can be liberating. By allowing yourself to grow at your own pace and embracing your journey's natural flow, you find greater satisfaction and joy in your achievements. This doesn't mean abandoning your goals, but rather approaching them with a sense of balance and harmony. The grace of letting go teaches us that sometimes the most powerful action we can take is non-action. By aligning ourselves with the natural flow of life, we achieve more with less effort and find deeper fulfillment in our endeavors. So, where can you practice letting go today? How can you incorporate the wisdom of Wu Wei and Stoicism into your daily life to achieve a more balanced and harmonious existence? Embrace the art of letting go, and watch as your world transforms in unexpected and beautiful ways. Thank you for being part of today's video. Before we proceed, I want to thank you for your participation in our community. Feel free to share your thoughts or simply comment, "I am a newbie" if you're new, or "I am Stoic" if you've been around. Your interaction is a great source of motivation for us. Let's continue this journey together, shall we? Understanding the natural rhythm of life can transform the way we approach our goals and challenges. Embracing patience isn't about being passive or indifferent. It's about recognizing that some things are beyond our immediate control and allowing them to unfold in their own time. Think about a seed you've planted. You can't make it sprout by staring at it or constantly checking its progress. The same applies to many aspects of our lives. Whether you're waiting for the success of a project, the deepening of a relationship, or your own personal growth, patience is your most powerful ally. It helps you resist the urge to interfere or rush processes that naturally require time. As Lao Tzu wisely said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Each step you take is important, but it's equally important to recognize that you can't force the journey to unfold faster than it should. In practical terms, this could mean not obsessively checking for responses after sending an important email, or giving new team members the space they need to adjust and align with the company culture. It could also mean understanding that personal growth and learning have their own unique pace for each individual. By allowing things to happen naturally, we reduce our anxiety and stress. Marcus Aurelius, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." Now let's dive deeper into how we can apply Wu Wei in our daily lives to achieve everything we want, effortlessly. First, it's essential to set your intentions clearly. What do you want to achieve? Once you have a clear vision, take the necessary steps towards your goal, but then allow the process to unfold naturally. This doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you take action without becoming attached to the outcome. Epictetus, another renowned Stoic, reminds us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." For instance, if you're working on a major project, put in your best effort, but understand that some aspects are beyond your control. You might face unexpected challenges or delays, but instead of stressing about these obstacles, focus on what you can control: your response and your attitude. By doing this, you maintain your inner peace and stay open to new opportunities that might arise from these challenges. Seneca, yet another Stoic philosopher, aptly noted, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." Moreover, embracing the principle of Wu Wei encourages us to trust in the process of life. Trust that your efforts will bear fruit in due time. This trust cultivates resilience and prevents us from burning out. It reminds us to enjoy the journey rather than fixating solely on the destination. Consider this. When was the last time you allowed yourself to simply be in the moment, appreciating the progress you've made rather than worrying about how much further you have to go? Let's consider personal relationships. Trying to force a relationship to progress faster than it naturally should often leads to frustration and disappointment. Instead, focus on nurturing the relationship, being present, and allowing it to develop at its own pace. Over time, you'll find that this approach leads to more meaningful and lasting connections. As the philosopher Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, advised, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say." In your professional life, adopting Wu Wei can make you a more effective leader and team player. By giving your colleagues the space to grow and contribute in their own ways, you foster a more collaborative and innovative environment. This not only enhances team performance, but also builds a culture of trust and respect. Imagine how much more harmonious and productive our workplaces would be if we all practiced a bit more patience and allowed our peers to shine in their own time. Now, let's reflect for a moment. How can you incorporate Wu Wei into your daily routine? What areas of your life could benefit from a little more patience and trust in the process? These questions aren't just rhetorical. They are invitations for you to explore how ancient wisdom can enhance your modern life. By doing so, you're not just achieving your goals, you're transforming the way you live. As you go about your day, remember the wisdom of nature. Remember that just like the trees and the seasons, you have your own rhythm. Trust in your journey, Be patient with your progress, and know that everything will be accomplished in its own time. So, the next time you feel the urge to rush or control something, take a deep breath and remind yourself of the power of Wu Wei. Embrace the art of not trying, and you'll find that you can achieve everything you want, effortlessly. How will you start practicing Wu Wei today? What steps can you take to align more with the natural flow of your life and goals? Reflect on these questions, and you'll find that the answers will guide you toward a more serene and fulfilling existence. In our relentless pursuit of success, we often believe that pushing harder, working longer, and taking on more tasks will lead to better results. However, the philosophy of Wu Wei, which translates to effortless action, challenges this notion. Imagine trying to write with a pen by applying too much pressure. The writing becomes messy, and you might damage the paper or break the pen. Similarly, overexertion in our endeavors can lead to burnout, reduced efficiency, and even sabotage our goals. Over-preparing for an event can make us anxious and less adaptable to changes. Pushing a team relentlessly might lower morale, stifle innovation, and decrease productivity. In personal relationships, rushing progress can strain and even break bonds. The essence of this teaching is to find a balance between action and inaction, ensuring our efforts align with the natural flow of life. It's about trusting the process, giving our best, but recognizing that excessive force is not only unnecessary, but often counterproductive. Embracing the lessons of Wu Wei in today's world might seem challenging, yet these ancient teachings are not opposed to action, but are a refined approach to it. Harmonizing with the flow of life means understanding when to act, when to wait, and when to retreat. As we integrate these lessons, we discover that the wisdom of the ancients can illuminate our modern paths, guiding us toward a life of balance, fulfillment, and profound understanding. Across the tapestry of human experience, countless narratives showcase the principles of Wu Wei in action. Whether in boardrooms, sports arenas, artist studios, or personal lives, there is ample evidence that sometimes, less truly, is more. Marcus Aurelius, a revered Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This quote underscores the importance of aligning our efforts with the natural course of events rather than forcing outcomes. Consider the story of a business leader who trusts his team's expertise, allowing them space to innovate rather than micromanaging every detail. This leader understands that excessive control can stifle creativity and productivity. In sports, athletes who remain calm and composed under pressure often outperform those who let anxiety drive their actions. Artists, too, find that their best work comes when they are in a state of flow, not forcing creativity, but letting it come naturally. In our own lives, adopting this approach means trusting ourselves and the processes we are part of. It's about giving our best effort while knowing when to step back and let things unfold. This balance leads to a more fulfilling and less stressful life. As we navigate our daily challenges, remember that true strength lies in knowing when to act and when to let go. This wisdom not only helps us achieve our goals more effortlessly, but also enriches our journey with peace and contentment. By embracing the art of not trying too hard, we align ourselves with the flow of life, discovering that indeed, sometimes less is more. Thank you for joining us on today's journey into the art of not trying. Achieve everything you want effortlessly. We've explored how the principles of Wu Wei and Stoicism can guide us to align our actions with the natural flow of life, allowing us to achieve our goals with ease and grace. By understanding when to act and when to let go, we can reduce stress, enhance productivity, and find deeper fulfillment in our daily lives. As you go about your day, I encourage you to reflect on where you might be exerting unnecessary effort. Consider areas where you can embrace the art of not trying, allowing things to unfold naturally. Share your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're applying these principles in your life. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life, for more insights and practical guidance on living a balanced and harmonious life. Until next time, remember, true power often lies in the gentle, effortless actions that align with the natural rhythms of life. Take that first mindful step today and see where it leads you. What changes will you make to embrace the art of not trying? Let us know in the comments.